When you think about the combat in The Last of Us, you probably think of guns, Molotovs, or even smashing its skull with a 2x4. Well, I reject those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose beating the whole game only using fists on grounded mode. Yeah, you heard that right. Now, this means I can't use any guns, no shit, no throwables, and no melee weapons, just fists and me suffering. The only exception are bricks and bottles to stun only, that's it. And yes, I'll be doing this on grounded mode, because honestly, the game is too damn easy for me. It just is. Let's see if I can pull this off, and here we go. Our journey begins with Joe waking up from a nightmare, one where he was endlessly used as a meme format across countless posts. Not long after, we stumble upon a man begging for us to put him out of his misery. Unfortunately, my aim was less than ideal. I kept missing my shots, I ran out of ammo, and oh look, more ammo! Naturally, I missed again, so I was left empty-handed once more. As Tessa repeatedly breaks the rules of the challenge, I can't help but notice how terrifying Joel's combat skills truly are. The man is an absolute monster, look at this! Who needs guns when Joel is the gun? Before we meet up with the good friend Robert, we have to deal with this man, which means choking them all out one by one. Stealth in this game is insanely overpowered if done right. It makes most encounters a breeze. Once we reach Robert, we chase him down an alley and ensure he won't be walking again. Afterward, we meet Marlene, clear out all the guys in this area, make this quarantine zone an absolute cakewalk. I sure hope it stays this easy. We then meet Ellie for the first time, making the end of the quarantine zone. With Tess now in the picture, the next chapter, Outskirts, begins. It's not too difficult compared to what's coming next. The first section is all about avoiding detection, so I bypass every enemy entirely. Despite playing on grounded mode, this is really easy. And honestly, this scene really highlights Joel's character development. At this point, he doesn't believe a word Ellie says. Yet by the end, he's willing to save her at all costs, even for a potential cure. Moving on. So we arrive at Tilted Towers, the ruined buildings. And once again, Tess breaks the rules by killing a clicker. Though, to be fair, she did save me here. Unfortunately, I have to ignore every new weapon pickup, just like I did with the revolver, because, well, it's a gun. The encounters here aren't too tough. The infected are spread apart, making it very easy to break their neck. Near the end of the area, all you have to do is lift the ladder and carefully set it down. Only for it to come crashing down with a loud ass bang. Then Joel goes off here. He turns into an absolute machine, ripping and tearing and making the combat feel so damn fun. Eventually we reach the Capitol building where we learn Tess has been bitten. She stays behind buying us time before ultimately dying out. The rest of Outskirts is mostly about sneaking past guards, which I do successfully. After a smooth subway escape, we make our way into the dreaded town known as Billstown. At first, this chapter isn't difficult at all. If anything, it's a cakewalk. But that changes fast when you reach the high school. So this part forces you to shoot with no other way around it, since it's a scripted sequence. I'm not sure if it technically breaks the challenge, but thankfully Bill saves us, allowing us to continue without breaking a run. Once we reach Bill's hideout, I can't pick up any scraps for weapon upgrades, meaning there's not much here for me. There's so much ammo laying around, it's incredibly tempting to start blasting after my last challenge run, but I stay disciplined. Early on, Bill's traps come in clutch, wiping out 2 infected. Clickers, on the other hand, are a real problem. Punching them is an instant death, so I have to rely on throwable objects to stun them. Unfortunately, you can only get 1, maybe 2 hits and before they recover. I spend most of this fight running around, desperately looking for something to throw at. Bill helped me out a bit, and eventually I cleared the area. Bill then hands me something I can't even use. Great! Another encounter comes up, but sneaking past infected makes it non-issue. Then comes the fun part. No clickers? No problem. I go on an absolute rampage, beating down every enemy in sight. There's something deeply satisfying about whipping them all out with just your fists. And now, the real pain begins. The bloater fight. Ah, fuck. Since I can only punch this thing to death, the entire fight took a brutally 50 minutes of non-stop dying and throwing hands. Punching does next to nothing, so I have no idea how long the actual fight was. I just know it felt like an eternity. I died about 15 times or so, I can't remember. And each reset meant starting from scratch, punching him over and over and over again. Thankfully, Bill landed some shots, which helped chip away the bloater's health. Also, I couldn't help but laugh at how much ammo the infected drop, especially on grounded mode. That was just the cool part. But after nearly an hour and 15 failed attempts, the bloater finally went down. And let me tell you something. My pinky was screaming from holding the sprint key the entire time. And yes, I am playing on keyboard.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
In the end, I was surprised Bill managed to hold his own. Thanks, Bill, but I still hate your town. It's a piece of shit. Bill's house is our last stop for this chapter, so let's check it out. Oh, there's Frank. He'll be okay. Down to my favorite part, pushing the damn truck. Once again, the AI proves to be awful. And Bill refused to fire his gun when it actually matters. I was struggling to take down the clicker since there wasn't any items to throw it at. I also noticed odd physics glitches. I teleport straight to the clicker while standing on top of the car. This game can be something else, man, I swear. Speaking of Bill being the worst NPC in the game, here's another example. He just stands there and watching me die. How fun. After what feels like forever, he finally decides to kill it. But in the process, I think I figured how the scripting works. Hear me out. When you leave the truck, Ellie gets attacked by the infected. Bill also enters combat mode, which means he'll actually take out the clicker. I did test this and it worked, so maybe my theory is correct. Who knows? I say my goodbye to Bill in his awful town and in this awful place. Ellie then shows us something interesting. Oh look, we crashed in Pittsburgh. Fuck. So we crashed in the store and then beat the hell out of everyone in here. Thank you, don't come again. Me and Ellie open up the gate and look for another bomb I can't use. How amazing. For some reason this gate was closed, even though I did bypass the enemies before this, but I've never seen this happen before. So I had to make some sounds for them to make my way to me, then kill them. In the library area, I try my best not to get caught by anyone, just because I'm too damn lazy to kill any of them. Let me tell you about this amazing thing. It's called anorexia. Once again, I sneak my way out of the hotel area, and they never even spot me once. Joel then ends up in the basement, only to cut it close with the bloater right behind me. I use a keycard, and we are out. Ellie saves us. Then we are headed to the dreaded financial district. This is where most divorces happened, and maybe dying a little on the inside. The enemy count here is insane, probably the biggest in the whole game. The best way to finish this encounter is to stealth it. That's what I did. Can't believe I'm saying this, but Financial District wasn't as tough as I expected. In my last challenge, Ellie couldn't rely on stealth since she was so loud. And she couldn't choke with the hunters like Joel could. Plus, I had to avoid getting hit. This time, all I had to do was choke them all out without being seen. It took me about 4 attempts, but I really felt confident and handled this area with ease. There were moments when I got caught, but I would just hide and then continue to slaughter them.
Come on down.
Can't believe I did it. Holy shit. Moving through the city, I encountered the truck and managed to get past it by just running. You just have to time it right so you don't die. I took one guy out just to make sure he wouldn't cause any problems as I run to Sam and Henry. Thankfully, this marks the end of the Pittsburgh area. I didn't realize how easy it was by just going through it stealthily and choking the hunters out. As I reached the office, things got unpredictable. Sometimes the hunter could spot me from across the map, while other times they wouldn't even notice me if I was standing right next to them. Eventually, Henry killed someone, finally pulling his weight. To make things easier for myself, I decided to lower all the enemies inside the building, and it worked perfectly fine. One by one, they would walk in and enjoy my growing collection of dead hunters. The last guy that was under the spotlight refused to come inside, so I had to step outside and took care of it myself. After all that chaos, I thought about grabbing a drink at the bar, except of course, more hunters were waiting for me. I did my best to sneak behind them and break their necks. Once again, Ellie proved she was a better shot than Henry, despite being 14 years old. Eventually, we ended up in the shore, entering the next area. The suburbs section wasn't too bad. I did die a few times, but I managed. Honestly, it was satisfying to watch Henry struggle for once. Finally, he can feel my pain. And of course, when a clicker showed up, guess who saved me? It was Ellie! Henry remains just as useless as every other NPC in this damn game. Once we get separated, I decided to sneak past all the infected since there was clickers giving me a hard time. I threw a bottle, grabbed the ladder, and slipped by without them noticing me. Somehow I pulled this off on our first try, which even surprised me. After some running around in this section, I managed to get the door open. Surprisingly, the part where I had to reach the sniper gave me some trouble. I kept getting shot over and over, but after a few attempts, I finally made it to the house and took the sniper out. And just like that, I find myself in another scripted section where I have to use a sniper to get through this part. So I gotta shoot. This ends the suburbs. Not too long, not too short.
Giggity.
Look where we are. My favorite area in the game. I love Tommy. He's such a great brother. Tommy, to make a third game, I hope you die first. A painful death. Hey, by the way, 700 die. Alright, for real, this chapter is a bit of a drag at the start. Nothing really happens until the end, so there's not much to say or do here. The fight on the bridge was a mess. The AI started acting weird, but I managed to kill everyone here. I took a lot of damage, but I survived. Bro just walks through the gunfire with his damn fists. Then we get to yet another dumb sequence that I had to include in the video. I mean, look at this. What is happening here? We finally enter the pits of hell. And while this section didn't take me very long, it definitely took me about 5 years off my life. I know I keep saying this, but Tommy's a terrible brother. He does nothing. He just sits back and watches me die. I don't get why he can't just shoot them. But here's a little montage of me getting absolutely destroyed while Tommy just stands there like a damn NPC. Tommy, to make a third game, I hope you die first. A painful death. Since I had to take out everyone myself, here's how I did it. Using only Joel's fist, I waited for this guy to rush me. I hid behind the tree on the right, took another guy out. The next guy charged at me, big mistake. I took care of him too. Hid behind the boulder, snapped another dude's neck. Somehow this guy took forever to spot me. And then the impossible happened. Tommy actually killed someone. He used his gun. I couldn't believe it. Finally. And for the last guy, I hid, lost track of me, and then I broke his face. Ending this chapter once and for all. Finally, I make it to Ellie and put an end to Tommy's dam. Onto university. Ah, yes, the university. Magical place where people drop thousands of dollars on a fancy piece of paper, only to end up flipping burgers at McDonald's just to pay it off. Honestly, this section was surprisingly pretty chill. I didn't even die once. Most of it relied on stealth, and the chaos didn't really kick in till the end. In the dorm room, I just threw a bottle and slipped through the door. I thought I was screwed, but someone managed to sneak by. Then we moved to the science building and find out the Fireflies either bounced to the hospital or just straight up died. The final fight here pushed me to rely entirely on Joel's fists, just punching my way through like a psycho. Once the coast was clear, I made my way downstairs and finished the last hunter. Then bam, we had another scripted moment where you're forced to use a gun. There's no way around it, that's just how it is. Joel takes a nasty fall, which kicks off the winter section with Ellie, and man, this part was brutal. We immediately get thrown into a scripted hunting sequence where Ellie had to use the bow to track down the deer. We can't skip it, we just gotta kill the deer. And surprise, the plot shows up, and we meet David. Yeah, this real piece of shit. It's kind of messed up that this walking piece of shit ends up being the most helpful NPC in the game. In this section, I had to go knife only. At least trusty switchblade. You see, since she can't throw hands like Joel because, you know, she's a kid, she has to rely on her blade, which does the same amount of damage as Joel's fist, just a little sharper. So we have to use her knife. Anyway, screw this part. I spent the entire time running in circles, praying Dave would actually pull his weight. It dragged on forever. It felt like 30 minutes of just RNG pain, just waiting for him to kill something. Eventually, he does open the door, and I assumed I need to use a weapon again for this part, but nope, David killed him. Next up, here's survival mode. I scavenged every throwable I could, maybe 5 in the room in total, and saved them for the clickers while David handled the rest. But then came the bloater fight. This is similar to the high school fight in Billstown, but honestly, this one felt a little easier. This room is super cramped, and once the bloater starts lobbing those poop grenades, the whole place gets clogged up. I had to get creative, and I found this little ledge where I could sneak in a few hits at a time. It took forever, and with David dumping in what it felt like 3,000 bullets into it, it just felt like popcorn. The thing just wouldn't die. I just kept hitting around it until it finally dropped. No clue how many swings it took, maybe 40. Either way, boring as hell. We patch up Joel with some medicine, and surprise, the hunters show up. Ellie hops on the horse to escape, and yeah, it dies. I get caught here, but I didn't die. Stuck with the one guy that made my way to the cabin. The next section forced you to kill David's goon to progress, and eventually we get a big old hug from David. We wake up to see what David cooked for us, a nice home-cooked meal. Maybe you misjudged him for your food. Then we switch back to Joel politely asking where Ellie is with a blade. We return to Ellie just in time for the final showdown with David. After finally putting down that monster, we're off to the final stretch of the game. At this point, I was honestly burned out. Joel's fists have probably turned into dust at this point. This wasn't as tough as my Ellie mod challenge, but still relentless.
Ellie! Ellie!
Before the hospital, I did use stealth to get through the underground tunnel. Eventually, we do hit another scripted moment. We're forced to shoot the clicker. I tried using a throwable, but nope, gun only, no way around it. Finally, we reached the hospital, the final area of the game, and it wasn't too bad. I maybe died once. I did use stealth through most of it, and I'll fast forward this part just to show you how I did it. Right before entering the surgery room, I left a little surprise for the unlucky person who walks through the door. Then comes the moment we're forced to kill everyone's favorite surgeon who will absolutely have no impact in the sequel. We save Ellie, we sprint down the hallway, jump in the elevator, and that's it, game over. Well, we first have a little speech from Joel.
Swear to me that everything that you've said about the Fireflies is true.
No.
Okay.
And damn, what a wild ride. So, that was beating Last of Us Part 1 just using Joel's fists and Ellie's switchblade on grounded mode. And honestly, not that hard of a challenge compared to my last one. I did die a few times here and there, but not as many as I thought I would have. During the run, we had to use guns through Billstown, the sniper section, the university, hunting a deer, the clicker, and of course, at the very end of the game, Jerry. So that adds up to 6 times where we had no choice but to shoot. But yes, it is possible to beat the game just using hand-to-hand combat technically. So, if you enjoyed this video, let me know what other games I should try next. And if you really liked it, maybe leave a like or subscribe, I don't know. I'll see you next time.